Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. We're into the 10 Bulls of Zen. So last time I did a little bit of an intro about it, and I think the most important thing to know about that intro is that there's no place to go for our meditation. There's no destination that we should be striving towards. So maybe having some intention about why we're here, knowing why we're here, that can kind of keep us on track, reminding ourselves when we come to our practice why we're here, but knowing that there's no goal necessarily, that we're not making progressive steps towards some place, that naturally as we practice things are changing and we're becoming different. Like S.N. Goenka says, patiently and persistently, and you're bound to be successful. Patiently and persistently, and you're bound to be successful. So continue your practice, and you will eventually begin moving towards a place of more understanding of self and more mindfulness. I mean, this is one of the most basic goals that's right here in front of us, is our ability to be aware of ourselves as we do things in our daily lives, and notice when we're doing things that are unskillful, when we're doing things that are unhelpful, that we're not helping ourselves. And most of the time, when we find ourselves suffering, we're also going to be causing those around us to be suffering a bit as well. So the 10 Bulls of Zen is these 10 paintings that do kind of show a typical kind of progression, and it's interesting how I related to them. And as I was looking before I got started today, was thinking, boy, I really wish I had the original, the first commentary that I'd ever seen on that retreat in Thailand. There was a really nice breakdown of what each of these was about, and I believe it was mostly related to how we're finding how we're finding present moment awareness, and I think that's really the best kind of analogy here, because our true nature, our true selves do kind of begin to bubble out through our own present moment awareness, and I really think that's what this is getting at. But it is really interesting. I think one joy of revisiting this is seeing all the different interpretations. And so, and also, I guess I hadn't realized as well that there is a version of this painting available in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. So if you're ever in New York and you happen to go to I think it's in the Asian art wing, there are these 10 Bulls of Zen, and and there's I think of Zen as a Japanese thing, but this original drawing was done done with Chinese poetry. So it's really interesting to be able to see. Yeah, road trip to New York. Let's see the original. Well, I mean, and that's it too. I don't think it is the original. This one is. It's been. I mean, who knows how many versions? I think, what would we say? The original is in the 12th, comes from the 12th century. Anyway, I guess I've been wanting to give myself plenty of space to go through these slowly, so that we can kind of not only do commentary about the 10 Bulls, but things that were going on around it, and a little bit of history and culture that. Oh, that's so cool. I worked for a lady in China when it first opened for visitors, and she brought it back for me. That's really cool. So anyway, I'll just get into it and just talk through just another commentary. So I left off last time with form is not different from emptiness, and emptiness is not different from form. Form itself is emptiness, and emptiness itself is form. And it's nice to kind of start with something cryptic, because I do believe that this is also rather cryptic to understand, our true nature. And I think that's what's interesting about true nature. And as you perform your meditation process more, you see that you can begin to see your own perceptions and your own biases on things that wasn't necessarily so obvious when you first started your practice. And I think that that's what's interesting also about, at least for me, seated meditation. I find in seated meditation, when I'm just focusing on breath, that this searching for true nature, and without actually trying to search, that finding my true nature, and that's this is also cryptic, right? The version of me without the biases of all of my past history and past thoughts, and my ability to my mindfulness, my ability to monitor what's going on in each moment, becomes a lot stronger as I'm performing, as I'm practicing seated meditation. So I'll read a little bit here. Now comes the time of struggle. When the honeymoon is over, we are catching the bull. We realize the power. Oh no, I'm sorry. Move up to the top. The bull stands for our true nature that is hidden behind the clouds of our misconceived everyday identification with thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. In the first stage, the search for the bull is really when something is felt to be lacking in our life. We search for happiness, but it fails us time after time. As the poem reads, we only hear locusts chirring in the forest at night. Okay, so here's the first. I've got an iPad here to show the pictures. So here's the first picture. I don't know how well here. Let's see here. There we go. And here's the commentary and here's the poem that goes along with it. In the pasture of this world, I endlessly push aside the tall grasses in search of the bull, following unnamed rivers, lost upon the interpenetrating paths of distant mountains. My strength failing, my vitality exhausted, I cannot find the bull. I only hear the locusts chirring through the forest at night. Wow. Okay, in the comment, the bull has never been lost. What need is there to search? Only because of separation from my true nature, I fail to find him. In the confusion of the senses, I lose even his tracks. Far from home, I see many crossroads, but which way is the right one, I know not. Greed and fear, good and bad, entangle me. And so this is from Zen Flesh, Zen Bones, the commentary. So that's what goes on with the poem that's here. But I mean, let me go read this one more time. In the pasture of the world, I endlessly push aside the tall grasses in search for the bull, following unnamed rivers, lost upon interpenetrating paths of distant mountains, my strength failing, my vitality exhausted. I cannot find the bull. I only hear locusts chirring through the forest at night. And I really feel like this is a really good way to describe the very first step of my meditation process. Is that as I'm working, as I'm trying to stay focused on my breath, it just isn't happening. That I'm constantly being drawn away by thoughts, by my own perceptions, my own feelings, my own judgments, what's good, what's bad. All of this is showing up so much, especially as I first start my seated process. And I think that maybe another reason that I've hesitated to go through the 10 bowls is because I find that it makes more sense on meditation retreat. That as you've spent more time, more prolonged periods of time in meditation, you start to unravel each of these pieces becomes clearer because you've actually gone through a few of the stages. So gosh, that's the first stage and it's already 10 minutes. So as much as I'd like to go through more, and I know the title of this is the first three bowls, we made it through the first bowl. So and I guess that's the point, is leaving space for myself so that we can go through these as slowly and discuss as well. I'd love to see interaction in the chat. Just once again, before we start, here's the picture for the first bowl. Okay, so let's get into our practice. So we're going to do a seated meditation today, focusing on breath. And that's so go ahead and get into your posture. Yeah, he's smiling, right? And I think this is the great thing as well, is, it reminds me of Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh says, breathe and smile. Right? Like, this doesn't have to be, and a few days ago I talked about Judson Brewer, right? This researcher at Brown who's done smoking cessation, right? And mindfulness. It's like he talks about sweating through his t-shirts because he's so focused, and so I must squeeze every bit of benefit out of my meditation practice. And that this isn't the way to practice. There is an ease, there is a smiling that comes with our practice. So we'll continue, but let's go ahead and get into our practice. So sit comfortably wherever you are. Notice the feeling of the body here. Sensation of breath. As best we can, keeping our attention focused on our breath. And when the mind wanders, which it inevitably will from time to time, whatever it is that caught your attention, notice it for a moment, and then, once you bring your attention back to the breath, see if you can notice anything that's changed in the breath. Has the natural pace of the breath increased? Has the pace remained stable? Has your breath elongated? Is there any tension in the chest? Is there any tension in the belly? Is there any sensation there? So each time, noticing how your body reacts to whatever it is that caught the attention of the mind. This is the key to examining our own reactions. Our bodies don't lie. Inhaling, exhaling, continuing as best you can to keep following the breath. So this is why we follow the physical sensations, because there is so much information there about how we're feeling, what emotion we may be experiencing. Understanding through that awareness of our emotions, what our emotions might be doing to our thoughts, our perceptions. So seeing if we can remain stable, remain concentrated, focusing on each and every breath. Not letting a single breath escape our awareness. So where is the mind now? Are you still on the breath, or have you taken a tour somewhere else? So continuing to search for the bowl, and searching only by holding your attention on your breath. Patiently and persistently, and you are bound to be successful. So keep it up. Keep working hard. Keep focusing. Paying attention to this inhalation, to this exhalation. All right, well done, everybody. Our practice time is up, so I'll close practice with 3 rings of the bell. All right, thank you for joining. How'd your practice go today? Did you find any, what was it like? Was it challenging? Was it easy to stay focused? Did you find your mind wandering a lot? If you did find your mind wandering a lot, what was it wandering to? I found my own mind wandering a decent amount to things going on in my life. It's like mountain meditation, right? In mountain meditation, we talk about in our lives, we encounter storms of varying degrees of intensity. Sometimes we're having a peaceful, sunny day, and other times we're having a stormy, blustery day. And just knowing that it's going to affect your practice, right? You can't expect every single day to be the same, that we are not on a linear progression. I think that's what somebody had said last time in the chat, was that this is not a linear progression, that things, and that's it. It might be more of a linear progression if you were off in a monastery in the middle of nowhere with nothing going on in your life to distract you or to really challenge your practice. But unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, we don't live in monasteries. We do live in the real world. We do have to learn to encounter our lives in all of the full catastrophe and the richness that we live in every day. And this practice, this cultivation of mindfulness, is in support of the challenges of all the challenges of life that we may encounter. So, yeah, I'm going to have a look at the chat now. Yeah, DJ says, my mind was wondering about work things, but now a lot more relaxed. Thanks, DJ. Thanks for being here. And thanks, everybody, for being here. We will start talking more in the next few about the other pieces, and I think the other paintings and the other poetry that goes along with it. And I think it's just kind of nice to have as reference, and to use it as that this is the experience of someone in the 12th century, and kind of bringing it to today, and seeing what we can get out of our practice, and kind of what's there, what's the potential. And again, not to necessarily say that this is all true, but this is based on someone's experience. This is poetry and paintings based on anecdotal evidence of a person's own experience, and for I suppose documenting as well things that are legendary, things that are possibly mythical. So it's just a fun thing to go through, and like I said, I named my company 10 Bulls back when I created it, I don't know, a few years ago, because I thought this was so interesting and so unique. So that's why I'm here to share it with you. Okay, gonna look at the chat some more. Rachel says, I was distracted when a thought popped in my mind about an upcoming jury duty, and my boss said he'd give me a letter. I thought I must ask him today about the letter. Thanks, Rachel, for sharing. Cece says, worrying about a sudden large expense helped to come here and just try and let my anxiety go for a minute and be in the moment. Thanks, Cece. I can resonate with that. I've got a bit of anxiety about a couple things coming up as well. So thanks for sharing. Jean, my mind wandered to other mindfulness practices. Which is interesting, by the way. I was able to gently bring myself back to the breath without being prompted to come back. Thanks, Jean. And that's, it reminds me of John Kabat-Zinn saying, thinking about meditation isn't meditation. And it's really funny. I think the more that I've been teaching, the more my distractions are about teaching. And I think that's really interesting as well, that a lot of times I'm trying my best to meditate, and I'm thinking, oh, here's a great idea for another meditation to do. And here's something that I should share, it's all this kind of interesting stuff. Or oh, here's how meditation works. Oh, a commentary about my meditation. Oh, this is what's happening in my meditation today. Wow, isn't this interesting? Right? Which isn't meditating. It's interesting to notice that. Thanks, Jean, for sharing. Okay, my time is about up. I want to again remind everybody though, those premium tracks, I have put links to them, and Dirk has so kindly shared them as well from like the add meditation tab. I don't know how he did it. I haven't figured out how to do that. I've been wanting to add it into other circles, other Insight Timer groups as well, these new premium tracks, but I'm not sure how to do it. So I don't know. If you feel so inclined, please do share the links to those in other Insight Timer groups. I've got a few listens and a few reviews. I hope you've enjoyed them. I hope they're better than my free meditations. But do check those out. There are 3 meditations that are up there. One is just mindfulness of breath. One is a very short 10-minute body scan, and the other is a relatively short. As I worked on it myself, I was practicing my self-compassion practice. I felt like the intro, focusing on breath, could be a little bit longer. But I guess I'm really wanting to get to the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of the meditation, which isn't necessarily good. I guess what I'm trying to do is keep all of that stuff within that 10-minute time frame, so that it's more accessible to most people who are out there. I've been thinking about these bulls and elephants while I'm not meditating also. Thanks, Gene, for sharing. Yeah, and this is the other thing, right? Is the bull as the wild mind, right? As the wild mind, like the stomach that constantly, right? Our stomach constantly digests food without our approval of it. Our mind constantly wanders, and these techniques are ways to rein in. And I think like true nature, all this kind of stuff sounds kind of grandiose. I think more it's about, can I tame my mind? And what's taming my mind? Starting to see things as they are, to see things without my own perceptions clouding them, without my own judgments clouding the truth of what it is that I'm experiencing. And I think that really, that's a good way to end today's practice. Thanks, DJ. No worries. Like I say, donations one way to support me. Another way is if you're a plus. Another way is just to listen to the free tracks. Listen to my free tracks that supports. If you happen to be a premium or plus member, you can listen to my new premium tracks that are available, but not like widely available. They're kind of in the secret mode. So if you want to be one of the exclusive first people to try these new premium tracks, you can check them out on Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle. The links are all in there. All right, let us share our well wishes, and then I'll go, and I'll see you guys on Saturday morning, my time, which is the longer meditation. We're going to do a longer seated meditation, see if maybe we can start to find that elusive bull. So follow along with me if you like. May I be happy and peaceful. May all of you watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. May all sentient life, may all human beings on this planet of ours be happy and peaceful. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you on Saturday. Bye-bye.